Okay. Just real quick, so I wish I would have mentioned this at the pre-draft press conference, and I kind of thought about it today. I do want to recognize, and some of you guys may know him, but John Clayton. So I know John was part of the media, but he was a kind of a big part of our football community in the NFL, and I know he loved the draft. And I thought about this week. We used to talk to each other for probably 9 years, the week before the draft, and kind of go through all the teams and what they may do. And I'd get feedback from him. I'd give him a little bit, and I always look forward to. He used to always help me kind of prepare for the draft. So I know how much he loved the draft. So I just want to recognize him. Like, he was even though he was like one of you, he was a big part of our NFL community. So that being said, we'll segue over to Zion, and you guys can ask whatever you want.
What did you guys like about Zion?
Guards are people too, right? It's like, I know it's not the sexiest pick in the world, but he's tough, he's durable, he's smart, and we have some excellent skill players, both at receiver, tight end, Austin at running back. We have Justin Herbert, obviously. These guys can't operate and do their jobs without a rock-solid offensive line. So as much as this pick is to protect our quarterback, which is a big part of it, but it's also to facilitate everybody else. So it's pass protection, it's run game. We're in the second half of the game, and we have a lead, and we got to run the ball. They know we're going to run the ball. He's going to help there. So if he does what we think he can do, he's going to play 900 to 1,000 snaps for us, his rookie year. So if he does what we think he can do. So, but he's a really well-rounded football player. So we're excited to get him in here.
Tom, you had said before the draft you kind of played out the scenarios. Is this how it played out?
Yeah, I mean, as I did all my work, I was pretty confident he should be there when we pick. I know we love to say we never thought he'd be there. I thought he would be there. So that was kind of it was a target of ours. Felt good. Wasn't a whole lot of action when we were picking as far as moving down. I know we weren't going to move up, so but we were really thrilled to get him.
He was an All-American last year. What did you see the difference from his junior year to his senior year?
He's played a lot of spots, and obviously, his story is incredible. And what's great is he's earned everything he's had to get to this level. Talking about a kid, 2 years of high school football, so a late bloomer. He goes to a non-scholarship Davidson, plays really well there, but it's not scholarship competition, obviously, and he's paying his own way to college. And you guys can all ask these questions to him when he comes in tomorrow. And I think essentially, just couldn't, college gets expensive. So he put his name in the transfer portal, and one of his coaches had gone to Boston College. They liked him, obviously. They brought him in, and he really took off at Boston College. He played multiple positions there. But what he has is he's really, really strong, like powerfully strong, lower body. So he can anchor on big people inside and pass protection. But he's also a very good athlete, and he's really smart. So those are the qualities you really need in an offensive lineman. He's versatile. We see him as a guard. He could be a center down the road. I don't think tackle. But a really solid interior offensive lineman with some versatility down the road.
How did his resiliency play into your decision making?
It does. I mean, you like to see prospects that have had to handle tough situations. He wasn't a big recruit out of high school. Really 1 year starter in high school, so late bloomer. So he had to try and find somewhere to play football. And Davidson recruited him, but that's not particularly high level. No offense to Davidson, but it's not Boston College. So then he goes to Boston College, and you got to earn it all over again against better people. And he did it there. Then he went to the Senior Bowl, and you have to earn it all over there again. He did it there. And he'll have to come to this level, same thing. He's going to have to earn it all over again. I mean, the competition, the players get better and better and better. They get bigger, and they get faster and more powerful. So, but we think he has all the makeup you need for that position, along with the ability.
What did Zion set himself apart compared to some tackle prospects?
Everything I just kind of mentioned. Like, he's just a really well-rounded player, run game, pass game. We'll see in training camp, but I don't think it should be a big learning curve for him, but I guess we'll see. But just really well-rounded in both phases of the game.
Tom, where exactly does he fit? Because primarily a left guard in college. You have Matt there. Brandon has mentioned potentially moving Matt to right tackle. Is that an option? You have to sort of.
I mean, we see Zion as a right guard right now, and then nothing's changed with Matt Filer. Like, it's always an option. It's just not something we're pursuing right now.
He was first team All ACC, but how much did the Senior Bowl really up his stock? Because he got to show some stuff at center and guard. And
Yeah, I mean, it certainly didn't hurt it. I mean, he already had a really great season this past year at Boston College. So you want to make sure you see something similar to Senior Bowl, which he showed that. Against good people, there was a pretty good defensive lineman there. So yeah, that was a big help.
Before the draft, we talked about left tackle to right tackle. Is it similar left guard to right guard? Is there more overlap there, like making that transition?
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to make it sound like it's easy. He'll have to make a little transition there, but not worried about it.
Was he one of those guys you talked to both at the Senior Bowl and at the Combine?
Yes, I talked to a lot of guys, but yeah, Senior Bowl, Combine, probably even the Pro Day. So.
When it comes to what you guys are trying to build here, obviously trying to get back to the postseason this year, all that good stuff, where does Zion fit in terms of personality, and not only football intangibles, but everything you want the Chargers to represent? Yeah,
I mean, all the work we did on Zion, he's a great teammate, and that's a big part of playing here. He's going to be one of he walks in here, he was a great college player, one of the best players on his college team. He walks in our locker room, he's the youngest player here, and he's got to earn his role again. But we think he's got some great ability to be a good teammate, to learn from the guys who are older than him, do what he's supposed to do, and then gradually he'll kind of grow into that leadership role at some time way down the road, like they all do. No, we think he's going to fit in really well with the group on the offensive line, and it's a tight knit group. Those 5 plus plus the 3 or 4 backup offensive linemen. It's a really tight knit group, and fitting in and being a part of that is a big part of it.
Tom, but with the tackles, Storm Norton and Trey Cook, and one of those guys starts at right tackle, are you okay with it? Comfortable with those players?
If we're playing tomorrow, yeah, we're okay with it.
Were you surprised with how crazy it got from 11 to 16 in front of you with the amount of trades?
Yes. Yeah, it was really quiet to start off. I think it was 5 defensive players went first, and then it kind of picked up from there. And it sounds like it's going nuts right now in there. I lost track of who was going where. So
you had the 17th pick in 2018 when you guys took Derwin, obviously. How much different was this preparation for this draft than that preparation for that draft? Obviously, they're different teams, but
right.
Can you use the same format, if you will?
It's the same preparation. In his drafts, just thought there was a lower chance that he would make it to our pick. So if we wanted him, we'd have to trade up. This one, same process, same preparation. I just felt there was a much better chance that he could be there at our pick.
You mentioned there wasn't a whole lot of action as far as trading down. In a trade down scenario, though, when you sort of map those all out in the preparation process, did you feel like you could still have a chance at Zion if you moved down with 20 or 22?
Yeah, depending where. You make educated decisions on where a guy could go. In the end, do I really know? I don't really know, but I try and make educated decisions on that. So, but it was pretty quiet.
By last count, there's been 8 trades in the first round. Have you ever been involved in a day like this, first round?
I'd have to look. I don't know if that's a lot or not. It just seems like since we picked, every time I look up, somebody's making a trade, which obviously it takes 2 teams. So teams are coming up because they're being aggressive because they want to get a player, and other teams feel like that we can move back, and we got plenty of guys to choose from. That's what makes the draft great. We all look at it a little bit differently. We all have different lists of players. I mean, there's 32 teams, and we don't all rank them the same way. Just like when you look at all the mock drafts that are done, they're not – actually, some of them are kind of repetitive to me, but they're not all the same, right? Because we all look at players differently, just opinions. So everybody values players a little bit differently.
The Texans took a guard there at 17, Kenyon Green. Was that like a scary moment for you? Did you feel like they were going to look at a guard?
I had it on their list. I didn't know it was going to be that high. Yeah.
Phone ring on your end, or was it pretty quiet?
Pretty quiet. Like I say, if you prepare the right way, you have a good plan, there really shouldn't be any fumbling in the draft room. So it was pretty smooth.
I didn't know if any teams called you looking to move up or.
Yeah, it was relatively quiet. Yeah.
When you got to your pick, Tom, looking at the draft, were there a good amount of first-round grades up there?
At the time we were picking, no, small handful. Yeah, which is normal. We're picking 17, so you're not like you're gonna have like 28 first-round players up there.
You mentioned last week that you weren't interested in looking back at your previous draft and grading the drafts. My question for you is, how do you measure your success?
It's just wins and losses. That's what it comes down to, and that's what you get judged on.
All right. Thanks, Tom.
All right. Thank you.